Los Angeles against Messier. The puck comes back to McSorley. He dumps it out of the zone, and Charlie Huddy retreats after it. Huddy is partnered with Norm McIver. He takes the pass, banks it off the boards for Simpson. Rink wide for Messier. And across the line, dropping it for Anderson. His shot from a sharp angle. It's gloved and held by Kelly Rudy.
Well, there's been lots of talk about the new players that are in the lineup for the LA Kings. Let's have a look to see who's not playing. Sandstrom and Kadelsky are through for the playoffs. Casper's concussion is not cleared up. Barode, Laidlaw, and Buskus haven't played at all. Thompson and Halkitis is a change. Waters for Halkitis. And for the Oilers, they're going with the same lineup that they went with in Game 2. Tom Webster knows his team has to get at least one win here in Edmonton if they have any hope of winning this series. And tonight is the night that he's hoping to get it, obviously.
McIver fires it in. Alec, who has played well in the series for Los Angeles. Ahead to Robitaille. He drives it in. Robitaille has 7 playoff goals. Robitaille keeps it in, takes a hit from Anderson. Alec throws it in front of the net. Taylor couldn't get a stick on it, tied up by McIver. Alec centering it. Robinson just failed to convert that centering attempt. He takes a hit from Messier. Puck comes out in front of the net, and it's fired out of the zone by McIver as the Oilers make a change.
Larry Robinson, who was really an offensive threat in Game 2, starts off by coming off the blue line right into the slot, attempting to get that first goal for his LA Kings.
Donnelly's pass, poked in across the line, picked up by Kevin Lowe. Back to Craig Muni, who takes a hit from Brad Jones. Harry, do you think Muni will be a marked man tonight?
Oh, I don't think so, unless Edmonton got away up 4-5-0. Then he might be, but too much is at stake to worry about what happened in Game 2. But if it's back's turn, someone may take a healthier run than normal against him.
Donnelly went in against the boards against Semenoff, missed him with the check. Now it's Graves coming out. Tikkanen has it poked away from him, and it's fired out. The Oilers go back into their own zone, trying to set up. Tikkanen circling back, dumps it in. Klima races after it. He was the overtime hero the other night. Klima throwing it out front, looking for Tikkanen. It was deflected out into the center ice area.
Well, Tikkanen will be in Gretzky's face even more tonight as Muckler gets the last change, and the Kings won't start after a whistle with Gretzky not facing Esa Tikkanen at all here at Northlands this evening.
17:30 remaining in the first period. Tikkanen fires it across to Muni in his own zone before taking a return pass. The puck is dumped down into Los Angeles territory. Along the boards, Jay Miller, rink wide. It was behind Tonelli. Tonelli having problems there. Checked by Murphy. The puck is loose, picked up by McTavish. McTavish battling with Tim Waters. Murphy working from the corner. Tried to move out in front. He was checked by Miller, and Tonelli will fire it down the ice. The official waves off any icing call, resulting in a chorus of boos.
Well, the best ice, or just about the best ice in the league here at the Northlands Coliseum. This should be a faster game. The rink's cooler.
Shot right on. As Scott Bjugstad came racing in from the point, taking that pass from Jay Miller. And Grant Fuhr stood his ground. The best save so far of the hockey game.
I was saying, Don, it's cooler in here, and so I don't think fatigue will set in as early as it did in the LA game.
McIver has lost his stick. Kicked it up along the boards to McTavish. He can't get out. Marty McSorley winds up. Glove save by Grant Fuhr as he had Alec in behind him. 16:15 remaining in the period. But for his signing, Rocket Ishmael with the Toronto Argonauts. Drop pass for Anderson and a quick shot with the save by Rudy.
I wonder if McNall's horses are as happy with their deal as Gretzky with his and the Rocket with his. He's in all kinds of sports. It's just a question of time before he gets in baseball and basketball, I suppose. Anderson, who has but 1 point in the 2 games for the Oilers, gets a chance right here. Not a great shot, but he got it away quickly. Kelly Hrudey, who's been sharp for the whole playoff, including the 2 games in LA, makes the stop on Glenn Anderson.
I think John Muckler would like to see this line get going. Messier is the only goal. Simpson and Anderson each 1 assist in this series.
And that's way below their normal pace in the playoffs.
Steve Smith from the point, drops it for Anderson. His shot picked out by Kelly Hrudey. McSorley picks it up behind the net. He banks it off the boards. Racing after it is Donnelly. And they rule that he was offside. There was some question whether Donnelly would be ready to go in this game, as he took a hit and banged his head late in game 2.
And right up until the warm-up, the LA coaching staff didn't know whether Donnelly could play. He had headaches and felt sick yesterday. And of course, we know Casper this is the 2nd game he's missed with the concussion. So new helmets, I would say, might be a suggestion for the LA Kings with 2 concussions in 2 games.
Tom Webster hoped to have Casper back in the lineup, but he continued to have headache problems today, so it was a late scratch.
Well, Donnelly would be missed. He gives them lots of speed and was very physical, which is unlike him in game 2 in LA.
We're approaching the 5-minute mark of this opening period. Right out the center ice, picked up by Simpson. He gives it to Messier. He tried to slip it back to Simpson, but it was blocked by Larry Robinson. Robinson has played extremely well throughout the entire playoff round for the Los Angeles Kings. They are really taking advantage of his experience and leadership.
Was telling me before the game, he's the assistant coach for the Kings, that the Kings love the ice here too.
Most teams coming in here are very complimentary. The ice maker and the condition of the playing surface at Northlands Coliseum, one of the best in the league. Alex's clearing attempt deflected over the glass and out of play. Alec only has 1 goal, but he's been a very sharp playmaker for the Los Angeles Kings in the playoff round.
Well, I thought he was their most dangerous player in game 2. He had 10 shots on goal. All season long, one of the the stats that shows up a lot are first goals and wins. But it hasn't held true for the Oilers, it seems. They don't seem to mind if they get scored on first. Here they are in the 2nd round, and they haven't scored the first goal yet.
The only game in which they've scored the first goal, they lost to the Calgary Flames. So John Muckler said, we're going to banish that format from our playoff performance.
Oh, I think John will take the first and then worry about how he's going to do after he gets it.
5 times he's been down 2-0 in a playoff game this year.
Well, the LA Kings have played a fair number of series and games here in Edmonton in the playoffs, and you can see that in the last 7 playoff games here, they've only been able to win 1 of them. But that's water under the bridge. It doesn't mean anything tonight.
Of course, that game 1 victory in overtime was better than they have done in the 2nd round in each of the last 2 years. Penalty coming up. A holding call.
I think Todd Ellick's going to get it for holding the stick of Mark Lamb after the faceoff. And their power play stat against Calgary was nothing to write home about either.
Larry Robinson whips it around the boards. Tikkanen at the point, unable to keep it in. Last year, when they were swept in 4 straight by the Oilers, the Kings lost 7-0 and 6-1 here at Northlands Coliseum. Anderson moves in, shot just wide.
I'm not sure that didn't just tick the outside of the post. It was a good shot by Anderson as the defenseman played Anderson to toss it over to Messier, and he didn't.
That middle just seemed to open up for him. Puck flipped out of the zone by Marty McSorley. 1:20 remaining in the penalty to Todd Ellick. Tikkanen gives it ahead to Messier. He goes on the left side, too far for McIver. The puck bounces in the zone. McIver picks it up. Throws it back to Simpson. Simpson back of the net. Anderson is checked. Larry Robinson gets the puck. From the bench, they're yelling at him, "You've got time," and he brings it out to center ice, takes it back into his own zone. Trying to get away from Murphy. Murphy finally ties him up. The puck bounces out in front of the net. Lamb in front of the net for Klima, and he couldn't deflect it. That puck took a strange bounce off the end boards, and there's another penalty coming up. Tony Granato, I think, is going off. So for 39 seconds, the Oilers will have a two-man advantage.
Well, it's one thing to be physical, but it's another thing to be foolish. And I think you can class this one as a foolish attempt at being physical by Tony Granato, who cross-checked the Oiler player, and now they're going to be down two men, or high sticking, I guess they're going to call it, for 39 seconds. As Todd Alec has that left in the penalty. Here it is. I mean, you want to win the hockey game, you can't have guys forgetting the importance of not going down two men at any time in the playoffs.
Well, Robinson did such a good job at killing off time that taking it back into his own zone, he lost control and set up a scoring opportunity for the Oilers. And now they have a great chance to get on the board first. Duchesne in the corner. To the line, kept in, over to Tikkanen. He winds up, saved by Rudy. Anderson back to the line to Tikkanen. Tikkanen takes his time, lets the shot go. It's wide, behind the net. Anderson tried to throw it out for Simpson. 14 seconds left in the two-man advantage. At the point to Klima, being watched by Gretzky. For Messier, that deflected in front. Anderson couldn't get a stick on it. Tikkanen getting set. Gretzky's watching him. Tikkanen gets it back to Klima. He tried to go across ice as Elliott came out of the penalty box. Here's a breakaway for Gretzky. Going in alone. He's hooked by Klima just as he tried to get the shot away. Excellent job by Klima to lift Gretzky's stick before he could shoot. Messier to the point to Tikkanen. At the side of the net, he was looking for Klima. Klima throws it out front, and it went past Messier. And here comes McIntyre, trying to catch up with the play to Shane. He was checked by Messier, but the great opportunity for Gretzky nullified with some excellent back-checking by Peter Klima.
Well, I think Peter Klima would be the only player on either team that could have made the difference up on the breakaway that Gretzky had. I think Wayne thought he had more room than he actually did.
Several times in this first period, Harry, we've had some strange deflections in that Los Angeles end. Here comes Semenov. He had a goal in game 2. Back to Smith. Smith, 19 seconds left in the penalty, looking to shoot. Goes over to Charlie Huddy, into Semenov. Back to Huddy. He shoots. It hit a player in front. Semenov trying to control it. Does. Back to Smith, and there's an injured Los Angeles King. Larry Robinson is down.
He got hit in the face as he went to try and deflect that loose puck out of the zone. Well, they absolutely should. They could have been in a hole here early, and they're not. We'll see if that good job of penalty killing will be reflected in their next 3 or 4 minutes of play. It often is.
Jelena was unable to keep it in at the point. The Oilers have to move back into the center ice area to regroup. Here comes Jelena. Jelena knocked down by Robitaille. It's flipped into the zone, and Todd Alec is back. He throws it across in front of his own net. Another pass by Benning in the center ice area, broken up by Jelena, and the Oilers dump it back in. Benning has Taylor with him. He gives it to Taylor. Taylor trying to work around McIver, still has it. Taylor looking out front, and the net is knocked off its supports. Alec was going for the goal. He was tied up by Semenov, and they took the net off its supports. 10:45 remaining in the period.
Well, Dave Taylor.
At this time, we say hello to all the viewers on Sports Channel America who have been watching action between Minnesota and St. Louis. I'm Don Whitman, along with Harry Neal, Ron McLean, and Don Cherry, and our Hockey Night in Canada crew at Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. It's still scoreless, 10:45 remaining in the opening period. Series tied at a game apiece.
Well, there's a look at the best line for the Kings so far in the 2 games. Taylor, Robitaille, and Alec. And here is a check by Robitaille on Jelena. And Robitaille, another guy that's not known for throwing his body around, went out of his way to take out the Oilers.
Sinisalo is playing on the wing with Gretzky and Granato. Kept in the zone. McSorley tried to throw it back at the net. Gretzky has it. He flipped it out front, but there was nobody in position, and Klima starts away. He can't control it. Sinisalo pokes it along the boards. Kevin Lowe is back to gather it up for Edmonton. Rink wide pass knocked down by Granato. That's a high stick. 10:19 remaining in the period.
Well, Tony Granato has to pick up some of the slack with the absence of Sandstrom. He has but 1 goal in the playoffs. He's a 30-goal scorer during the season, and he missed 12 games. So 1 goal in 8 games isn't good enough for Tony, and he's got an excellent shot, and great speed and quickness, but I haven't seen him get his nose in the clear at all in the first 2 games. And usually once or twice a game he dashes away and gets a good chance, but not so far in this series.
Sandstrom and Kudelski represent 68 regular season goals. Sandstrom had 45, Kudelski 23, and each had 3 in the playoffs. So I don't think I have to explain any further just how they are going to be missed. Murphy tried to go around Marty McSorley, couldn't control the puck. McTavish gets it for Murphy. His shot deflected. It's back of the net. Bukestad ties up McTavish. Jim Waters in there as well, and they force a face-off with 9:48 remaining in the opening period. It's still scoreless in Game 3 of this Smythe Division Final.
He didn't do very much. A lot of the teams that did make late moves folded quickly in the playoffs.
Dumped down the ice by Larry Robinson. Racing back after it is Charlie Huddy. Robitaille trying to move in quickly on him. Robitaille hauls him down. The fans reacting. There's no whistle. The puck comes to the line. Robinson with his shot. Here gets a piece of it as Taylor in front of the net tried to deflect it.
Well, Charlie Huddy complaining to referee Gregson that he was hooked. Bad enough that he was hooked, but the puck went off his stick right to a King player, and they ended up getting a pretty good chance. Usually a hook like this is called because it creates a chance for the team that violated the rules, even though it was not a hook that might hurt someone. And Larry Robinson gets one on the net, and Dave Taylor got a stick on it. Here's the top goal scorer for the LA Kings, Luc Robitaille. He has a 5-game scoring streak going at the moment, and he has delivered, talking about rockets in McNall, a couple of rockets for McNall's team.
With 7 playoff goals, he's second in postseason activity to Brett Hull of St. Louis. Forechecking of the Kings causing the Oilers some problems. They dump it out to center ice. Shane moves it ahead to Robitaille, looking for Alec. He deflected it into the zone, and the Kings make a change. Norm McIver now starts back for Edmonton. McIver ahead to Messier. Messier dodges a check, moves it to Simpson. Simpson on the wing to Anderson. Anderson circling, coming out of the corner, knocked down, a backhand shot. Loose puck in front of the net. Simpson managed to get that backhand shot away, and the puck was loose in front of that Los Angeles goal. 8:40 remaining in this still scoreless opening period. Robinson breaks it up inside his own line. Robinson now slips it ahead to Gretzky. He has to turn to get away from taking it. His pass to Granato. Granato would have been offside had he pursued it. He had to go back to the line to touch up. Low to Land. Land bumped in against the boards by Granato. Puck flipped in, and it's whistled down as it's deflected. 8:10 remaining in this still scoreless opening period.
If ever doesn't come through when he's most needed, and he's most needed tonight.
Taken and flips it across to Craig Munich. Broken up, Gretzky, rink wide pass for Sinisalo. Sinisalo drops it off, Renato's shot. Deflected in front of the net, the puck is loose. Taken and ties up Granato. Muni tried to bank it off the boards, Waters kept it in at the point. Sinisalo was trying to get it into Gretzky, it was intercepted, fell down the ice. Klima can't go anywhere, he is spun around by Marty McSorley. Waters flips it out, it's fired right back in. 7:30 remaining in this opening period as McSorley starts out from behind his own net. Fortinelli, who deflects it down into the Edmonton zone. Steve Smith ahead to Graves. Broken up in the center ice area, Graves gets it back. Jelena can't move against Benning. Fired out. Dumped back in by Bukaboom. 7 minutes remaining in the opening period as Benning starts away. Scott Bjugstad dressing for his first playoff game. Behind the net to Jay Miller. Miller is tied up, and Adam Graves starts out with the puck. Graves has Seminoff with it. Graves taken in hard against the boards by Benning. And there's a whistle on the play. Jay Miller is going to get a penalty. That came behind the play with 6:42 remaining. So it will be another power play chance for the Edmonton Oilers. Retaliatory penalty. Steve Smith back behind his own net. He almost miscued. He was going to leave it there for Tikkanen, but Tikkanen had turned the other way. Messier gains the line. Checked by Robinson. Simpson gets it back to Messier. Messier tried to throw it behind the net. Intercepted by McSorley. McSorley tries to come out the other way. Smith will keep it in. Now Donnelly gets an opening, and he flips it out of his zone. 1:28 remaining in the penalty.
The biggest problem with the Oilers' power play, and you can understand it, is they have no confidence in it at all. And it's 5 guys struggling means one team struggling. You have to look forward to going on the power play. You have to know you're going to score every time you go over the boards, and the Oilers don't have that feeling. Craig Simpson led the National Hockey League playoff goal scorers last year. This year, he has 1 goal and 7 assists in his last 7 games, and only 2 goals in the 9 playoff games, and only 11 shots in the 9 playoff games. So I think Craig has to start getting that puck on the net a little more often, and maybe going in to hunt for a rebound. This drought is uncommon for Simpson at playoff time.
Each team has managed just 3 shots thus far, and we have 5:55 remaining in the opening period. Norm McIver gets to the line, dumps it in, but it's an offside as Murphy was ahead of the play.
Well, Norm McIver's been a very pleasant surprise for the Edmonton Oilers. They brought him in here during the season thinking he would give some offense, as you can see his point production in the American Hockey League for Cape Breton, to a good, strong defense corps. He's done that, but he also is tied for the lead in the plus-minus department in the playoffs, which is a surprise as far as the Oilers are concerned. Small, not physical, pretty smart and mobile, and kind of rounds out the Oiler defense.
He and Larry Robinson are both +8. McIver made his NHL debut with Edmonton on the 18th of February in New Jersey, same game in which Grant Fuhr returned from suspension. Joe Murphy, who missed the first game because of the flu, saw limited action in game 2. He's out there now, playing the wing. It comes back to the point. Ivor kept it in. Murphy bumping along the boards. Behind the net to Lamb, looking for his first postseason goal. To the point now to McIver. And Tikkanen, he winds up, shot right on, and the rebound flipped to the corner by Blake. Bjugstad has time, and he fires at the length of the ice. Just 20 seconds left in the penalty.
Well, a hard shot from the point there, but it was too high and didn't get to the net. I don't think Kelly Rudy saw it, but he didn't have to stop it.
Charlie Huddy shoots it in. Rudy fell as he tried to stop it behind the net, and he was fortunate that it bounced away from the Edmonton player in the corner. Seminoff in the corner, trying to throw it back to the point as the penalty expires. Gretzky coming out with Jay Miller. Over to Granato. It bounced to Miller. Behind the net, Gretzky tied up by Seminoff, and Graves starts back for Edmonton. He flips it out to Tikkanen, who circles in his own zone. Tikkanen assigned the job of shadowing Wayne Gretzky in this playoff round. Gretzky hasn't had the physical contact in this game that he experienced in game 2. He was knocked down perhaps more in that game than at any time in his National Hockey League career.
Well, he's a marked man in this series, and he's got a group of players that are playing against him that don't mind taking them out, and that doesn't seem to be the case with many others.
Alec tried to throw it out front. It hit the side of the net. Alec is down. He appears to be hurt. Very slow in getting up. He's way behind the play as he now starts up the ice. Taylor takes Kevin Lowe in against the boards. Robinson ties up Simpson, and that forces a face-off. Todd Alec was down for a long time, way behind the play, and he's upset with referee Gregson. He thought a penalty should have been called.
I think he's upset with Muni, too, who hit him in the face or under the chin.
3:36 is the time remaining in a still scoreless first period. Simpson trying to dig it out in the corner. Smith pinches in from the point, steps into Alec. Here's Anderson winding up. Rudy got a piece of that. Bookeboom can't keep it in as it comes out to the center ice area. That might have been the best hit of this round by Steve Smith. That's something that John Mucker wanted to see more of, a physical presence. No penalty as Anderson is upset. Here goes Brad Jones. Couldn't get the backhand away. The puck loose. Throwing out front. And Tim Waters was turned around. Couldn't get a shot. Marty McSorley fires it back in.
Brad Jones, great speed, but cement hands. And the concrete was very obvious on that play. He was in. Couldn't handle the puck in the backhand.
Renato gets set, takes the shot. It's blocked. Duchesne with a shot that goes off the body. Picked up in the corner. Sinisalo.
Gretzky's hurt now coming off the ice. His helmet's off. He got hit in the head.
He lost his glove, too. So Wayne Gretzky skates off to the bench. He's hurt.
Puck. Trail of blood follows his path to the bench.
Behind the net, Robitaille picks it up, takes the shot. It goes over to the far corner. Tikkanen is there for Edmonton. Dodges one check. Robitaille is after him. He plays it back to Muni. Takes a return pass. Puts it down the ice. Going after it is Lamb. He's prevented from getting there by Robinson. Duchesne puts on the brakes, throws it up to the line. Robitaille slips it ahead to Alec. Alec looking for someone to give it to. Having problems with McIver, got it back to Blake. Fired into the corner from the other point. Benning puts it towards the goal, knocked down by Charlie Huddy. Robitaille out front for Alec, a backhand shot, saved by Fuhrer. Puck is loose, but the whistle had gone.
Well, there's Wayne Gretzky. It looked like he got hit behind the left ear. His helmet came off, and he's cut. There's quite a trail of blood, as you can see, on the hands of the trainer, Peter Demers, and he's going in to get stitched up. It may be on the ear. He's not as steady as he'd like to be as he heads to the LA King dressing room. I did not see how it happened. And there's Mr. McNall worried about his latest, or one of his latest, big-time investments. Been a lot of high sticks. Let's have a look and see. Our guys in the truck I knew wouldn't miss it. There's Gretzky.
With the shot.
And it's the puck that hit him. It's hard to give that puck a 2-minute penalty, I can tell you that. So Gretzky goes to the bench bleeding with a terrible noise ringing in his ear.
He was turning as that shot came from the point. And it caught him on the ear. 1:24 remaining in the period. Jelena trying to get away from Donnelly. He throws it across ice, and way offside was Anatoly Semenov.
Well, Tom Webster, I'm sure, wonders when these injuries, major and minor, are going to cease. Robinson, as we recall, was hurt, not badly, but hit in the mouth. Gretzky got hit in the ear with a puck. Todd Alec got hit in the face with a stick. No penalties on any of those plays, so sometimes you're just in the wrong place at the right time.
And Bruce McNall got hit in the pocketbook.
With the Rockets, you mean? Ah, the Rockets. I remember when the Rocket played hockey, and now he's in the CFL.
Semenov threw it out the short side. A favorite play by many Europeans.
That's right. They fake going all the way around the net and throw it out just before they get behind the net. And it's a tough play for the goalie because if he doesn't play the man to go around the net, sometimes he can't beat him across.
We're into the final minute of this opening period. No score. Game 3, Edmonton, Los Angeles. Graves can't go anywhere. McIntyre got back to tie him up. Steve Smith, lead pass for Jelena. Jelena's shot blocked by Waters. Sorley having problems trying to move it along the board. Jelena takes a hit there from Ellick. Graves back of the net to Semenoff, out to Jelena. His shot is blocked. Another shot by Graves. It's blocked. Jelena tried to spin around. Graves got it and fired it wide. Rudy had come out to cut down the angle, and as the Kings tried to clear, they put it over the glass and out of play. 6-4, the Oilers have the edge in shots on goal. Not a great advantage when you consider that they had 3 power play opportunities, won a 2-minute advantage for 39 seconds. And that will end the period.
Well, it's been quite a conservative period. Both teams got themselves into trouble on some forechecking forays by the opposition. The goalies probably had the easiest period they've had in the series with only 10 total shots. Or after the game when the two coaches raced to the post office trying to beat each other to get theirs in the mail to Mr. O'Neill.
A videotape operator and editor is now...
Could win the Conn Smythe Trophy this year.
Here's Taylor with a long shot. Robitaille to backhand. It's at the goal mouth. They score. Alec dug it up, but it's being waved off. Terry Gregson is waving it off. It was laying right on the line up against the post, and Gregson has waved it off.
He's saying that Todd Elliott kicked it in. I'm wondering if Todd Elliott kicked it up to his stick and in. It was a good call if he did that. And this is a tough one. The puck is sitting against the left post behind Grant Fuhr. And there goes Elliott to the net. There's the puck right there. Now, did he kick it in, or did he kick it up to his stick and then put it in? Boy, that's a tough one. From that angle, we can't tell whether he kicked it over the line or not. Maybe we can from this shot. Now look at the puck. It's not over. Wow, that's close. But the Kings didn't argue much, so I don't think it was as close as it probably looked like. No goal.
Well, Todd Elliott got a quick goal to open Game 2, just 13 seconds into the first period. He almost comes up with a quick goal to open Game 3, but it would have been just seconds into the second period. However, waved off by Terry Gregson.
Well, this game would really improve quite a bit, John, if one of the two teams scored and got both of them out of this safe, conservative, don't-take-a-chance mode they've been in since the first face-off of period 1.
Glenn Anderson works to the line, gets it to Simpson. Into the corner for Messier. Tried to get it back to Simpson. It was broken up. The puck goes behind the net. Brad Jones is checked. Messier trying to get loose. Brad Jones comes in to dig it away from Anderson. And Jones throws it out into the center ice area. Here comes Robitaille with McIntyre and Duchesne. Duchesne can't get a shot away. It winds up under Charlie Huddy coming back to check Duchesne. We'll be right back after this message. Further damage.
Those stitches in your ear really hurt, I know that. So they're probably making sure that freezing takes hold before they put them in. It's a tender part of the body.
Graves moving to the net. Shot high off the glass. Huddy's weak shot didn't get into the corner. It was fired out. Back in again and brought out by McIntyre. McIntyre to Donnelly, who shoots it in, and Norm McIver is there to pick it up for Edmonton. He banks it off the boards to Jelena, to Graves. Graves into the middle, couldn't control it, throws it to the corner. Semenoff, a centering attempt that flipped past Jelena. Back comes Sinisalo. Sinisalo took a shot, it was blocked, it's loose. Tonelli overskated it. Graves picks it up back of the net. 17:39 remaining in the period. Sinisalo keeps it in at the point. Centered for Tonelli. Saved by Fury. Came out to challenge. Waters over to McSorley. Long shot. You're got a pad on that one with Tonelli screening in front. Great scoring opportunity for John Tonelli, who is looking for his first playoff goal, and Grant Fuhr with a huge save.
And he also made a brilliant right foot stop on a good point shot later by Marty McSorley.
Jay Miller flips it out of the zone. Norm McIver will chase it down in his own end, being watched by Bukestad. McSorley at center ice, fires it back in. Ivor again trying to get out. Decides to flip it to his defensive partner, Huddy. Up to Klima. Rink-wide pass for Tikkanen. Long shot off the pads of Kelly Rudy. For a moment, he wasn't quite sure where that puck was. 16:33 remaining in this second period. It's still scoreless on this icing call against the Los Angeles Kings. Our Stanley Cup coverage continues in a moment. Dave Brown and Larry Robinson battle in the corner. It comes loose to Steve Duchesne. He flipped it to Alec. Alec couldn't get away from Bukaboom, who'd come racing in from the point. Now Alec gets it back. Alec plays it off the boards for Donnelly. Donnelly winds up, and Fuhr took that rising shot up high and deflected it to the corner. Here comes Murphy. Murphy working against Robinson. It goes loose back of the net for McTavish. McTavish throws it back to McIver at the point. His shot stopped by Rudy. It's loose in front of the net, poked away from McTavish, and fired down the ice by Brad Jones. This will be an icing call against Los Angeles.
One of the team characteristics of the Edmonton Oilers is how deep and how quickly and how often their defensemen pinch along the boards. And two of the best play together. Jeff Bukaboom taking a little mini shower there, and his defense partner, Steve Smith. It's a dangerous play if your forward doesn't recognize the opportunity to pinch and back you up. Now watch how far down on the right-hand side Bukaboom, right to the icing line. Now if they get the puck past him and a forward isn't back there filling in his position, Bukaboom's going to cause a 3-on-2 or a 2-on-1. But the Oilers do it regularly and get lots of turnovers for lots of chances and some goals with that maneuver.
Smith and Bukaboom referred to in Edmonton as the Twin Towers of Power. That puck came right out in front of the net. As it deflected off a skate, Simpson couldn't get a stick on it, and this will be another icing call with 15:16 remaining in the period.
Well, all the statistics in the first period, Don, were very close.
They score! A shot from the point by Bukaboom. It was deflected, I believe, in front. It went off a Los Angeles player, but Bukaboom lets the shot go and scores.
Well, on the least of any goal chances as far as quality is concerned, the first goal goes in. Bukaboom gets the puck on the net. I think it hit an LA King player, deflected down and through Kelly Rudy. Certainly it wasn't a hard shot, and it may well have been number 6, Todd Ellick, who was very upset with himself after the goal went in. Any way you want to look at it, it's 1-0 Oilers on what has to be classed a fluke goal.
Jeff Bukaboom's first goal of the playoffs. And of those who have participated in all the playoff action with Edmonton, Lamb, McIver, Smith, Brown, and Muni are the only ones who have been shut out. Back to the line, shot, hit to the corner by Fuhr. Taken along the boards, bodied by Sinisalo, but manages to get the puck out of the zone. McIver drops it off for Klima. Klima couldn't get a shot away, and back comes John Tonelli. Working against Huddy, crosses into the slot area, drops it back to the line. Duchesne trying to get set for a shot. He's spun around and checked, and it's knocked down the ice by McIver.
Well, the game will open up a little bit now. LA realizes they got to get a little offense going, and that'll open up some chances for the Oilers. I think we'll see the game improve, if you like offensive hockey, from here on in.
Messier draws the assist from the goal by Bukaboom at 4:48. Semenoff dumps it to the corner, takes a hit from Larry Robinson in the process. Robinson ahead to McIntyre. He can't control it. 14:04 remaining in the second. 1-0, the Edmonton Oilers leading. Series tied at a game apiece. Brought in offside with McIntyre trapped well inside that Edmonton blue line. But Jeff Bukaboom will take them any way he can. 1-0 Edmonton as Kevin Lowe goes after it in his own zone. Lead pass intended for Simpson, too far for him. Blake along the board. Gets it ahead to Alec, who gets it out of the zone, but it's fired right back in. Blake will try again. He whips it around the boards for Robitaille. He's checked there by Muni, but the puck does come out across the line. Taylor leaves it there. It's poked ahead for Robitaille. He can't get it up the Edmonton blue line. Blake tries again. This time he chases after it, but Muni got it out of the zone. It's intercepted by Alec. Alec comes back in. He gets it over to Robitaille. Robitaille with a shot. It bounces off the leg. Taylor had been driving for the net. Here comes Anderson, leading a three-man attack for Simpson. Back to Anderson. A shot off the side of the net.
Anderson fanned on the shot. It was a long 3-on-2 as the whole LA Kings forward line got trapped.
Alec gets it across to Taylor. Back to Alec, and he just missed the far side. Anderson takes a hit from Taylor as he gets to the line. Going after the puck is Jelena, trying to cut for the net, throws it out front. And Tim Waters got back to intercept. Donnelly starts back for Los Angeles. Long shot on Fuhr. He drops it there for Bukaboom. He scored the game's only goal. 4:48 into the second period. Pass intercepted by Jay Miller. Tim Waters tried to move it ahead to Bjugstad. Bjugstad got it back. He took a shot that went wide of the net. Donnelly was upset. There's going to be a penalty as Donnelly slides to the net. So the first power play of the hockey game for the Los Angeles Kings comes with 12:06 remaining in the second period. Benning gets it across ice to Duchesne. Into Robitaille. He has 3 power play goals, but he won't get a shot away as he's checked that time by Kevin Lowe. Mark Lamb out there in a penalty killing role. It's on the right side to Benning. In across the line with Robitaille. Benning looking back to the point. Now goes cross ice to Duchesne. He winds up. Shot saved by Fuhr. Tonelli was poking away at the rebound.
Well, if you want to see how sharp Grant Fuhr is, this stop on a deflection will show you his reflexes are in fine form. Duchesne took the shot from the point. I don't know who deflected it in front, but when the puck changes directions within 6 feet of you and you still make the stop, and your reflexes are going right there. Tonelli looking for the rebound. Grant Fuhr won't show it to him.
11:38 remains in the period. It's now final. Minnesota taking a 2-1 series lead with a 5-1 victory at home in that Norris Division final against St. Louis. 1:32 in the penalty to Steve Smith. Craig McTavish, who led the Oilers in shorthanded goals this year, got it out of the zone. He's always dangerous when they're playing a man short. He checked Todd Alec, and now he quickly gets on Duchesne. He moved it ahead to Robitaille. Robitaille takes a return pass. Too far for Alec. And Bukaboom banks it off the boards and out. Picked up by McTavish. He has Tikkanen moving in with him. McTavish for Tikkanen. Tikkanen was in too deep. Couldn't get a shot away. A centering attempt. Nobody in position. And back comes Robitaille. 4 of them in across the line for Blake. Way behind the play, Taylor and Tikkanen had each other tied up, and they have another collision directly in front of the 2 benches, and then Taylor, after getting hit by Tikkanen, knocks Tikkanen into the Edmonton box as the door had just opened. Edmonton was trying to make a change, but those two had been tangled up way back of the play.
Well, Tikkanen hit Taylor in the helmet, then Taylor hit Tikkanen as he was going in the door. And Tikkanen didn't get into make the line change he wanted. I think referee is going to give two of them, but take a look at the bottom left corner here. There's the shot by Tikkanen. Now watch Taylor. Whoa, you can just at the bottom, you can't see it. Taylor gave Tikkanen a shot and knocked him into the Oiler bench. So this will make no difference in the power play, which has 43 seconds left in the penalty to Smith. There's Dave Taylor calling over, possibly for a new stick.
Harry, when they talk about the Battle of Alberta, they always refer to the emotions that run high between Calgary and Edmonton. And again, we welcome our Sports Channel America viewers who have just concluded watching action between Minnesota and St. Louis. It's 1-0 here at Northlands Coliseum, with the Edmonton Oilers leading on a goal by Jeff Bukaboon at 4:48 of this second period. 32 seconds remaining in a Los Angeles power play. Sinisalo checked along the boards. Kevin Lowe trying to get it away from him. He moves it ahead to Messier. Back to Lamb. Lamb's shot blocked by Benning. McSorley behind his own net. Chance for one more rush with this man advantage. McSorley gets it ahead to Sinisalo. Long shot blocked by Fleur. Puck loose in the zone as Smith comes out of the penalty box. Sinisalo from the corner looking for someone to pass to, and we're going to get penalties here as Muni and Tonelli were battling in the corner with 10 minutes remaining in this second period. I said earlier that the real battle and the real rivalry used to be between Edmonton and Calgary. Now I think there's just as much dislike between Edmonton and Los Angeles as there is between the two Alberta rivals.
The next round, that dislike will continue between the two teams that will fight for the Campbell Conference Championship.
Craig Simpson, checked by Blake. Trying to get it back to the point, succeeds. Charlie Huddy tried a shot that was blocked by Donnelly, who had moved up to the blue line to stop the defenseman from getting a shot. Fired around the boards for Messier, back to the point. McIver back to Messier, rink wide pass is blocked, and Donnelly will skate it out of the zone before firing at the length of the ice.
Sure, you're going to see John Muckler put on Murphy, Graves, and Jelena, who at least will recover loose pucks.
Messier still controlling it, drops it back for Smith. A return pass for Messier. At the side of the net, Anderson across to Simpson. He just failed to one-time it. Long shot by Smith goes wide. Wilkaboom gets it back to Smith. Smith fanned on the shot. Anderson comes back to help out. He throws it in the corner. Simpson is having problems there with McSorley. Bukestad gets it loose, but not out. Wilkaboom's long shot just goes wide. Messier was cutting in front of the net, trying to pick it out of the air. 34 seconds left in the penalty to John Tonelli.
And the power play again for the Oilers, not looking like it's going to produce, let alone not producing.
Pass intercepted by Tim Waters. Waters slips it through for Granato. Granato bumps with Steve Smith. The puck picked up by Anderson. For Messier. Messier takes a hit from Sinisalo in the center ice area. Just 7 seconds remaining in the penalty. Sinisalo in his first playoff game puts it in, and that will kill off the final seconds. Sinisalo into the lineup because of the injuries to Sandstrom and Kudelski. Long shot by Murphy, a high drive. And Rudy had a little trouble with that one before grabbing it for a face-off with 7:51 left in the second. And then losing Wayne Gretzky in the first period. Back to the line to Muni. Muni's shot, that's deflected by Rudy. Tavish keeps it in for Brown. A centering attempt goes off his stick. Back to the line. Fired in by Lowe. Benning skates away from Brown. Ahead to Todd Alec. Alec across the line for Robitaille. A long shot that just missed the far corner with Taylor driving for the net.
Well, again, this line, although without Gretzky, it's not surprising that this line of Alec, Taylor, and Robitaille by far the most dangerous for the Kings.
And they obviously are going to log the most ice time as long as Gretzky remains in the clinic. Dug out by Taylor. He throws it into the slot. Nobody there. Clearing attempt hit Alec. Bounces to Klima. Klima with McTavish. Klima to McTavish into the slot. Backhand shot. Knocked down. Cleared to the line and out. Here's a 2-on-1. It's offside.
Jones had a chance to pick that puck up and stay onside, but elected to turn around before he picked it up and put himself offside. But this team gave their hometown fans and the so-called experts around the league all kinds of reasons to write them off. They're still in the thick of it.
Who did you pick to win the Stanley Cup?
Well, the team isn't very far from here, but they aren't playing at the moment.
Fired down the ice with Brad Jones getting there first. Jones back to the point. Duchesne manages to keep it inside the Edmonton zone, but McIver got it out. Messier rink wide for Semenov. His shot. Rebound loose in front of the net. Graves took a swipe at it. Kick to the corner where Duchesne will pick it up. Pass for Donnelly intercepted by McIver. Robinson goes back after it. Jelena quickly on him. Flipped up around the boards. Graves battling there. McIntyre comes away with it. Donnelly's shot is blocked at the line. And two players run into Boom, and it appears as though McIntyre is hurt. I think he was hit almost as hard by his teammate Mike Donnelly as he was by Boom.
Donnelly was telling him on the bench that he wants to be sure to get a takeout on that one, even if it was the wrong guy.
5:40 remaining in the period. Murphy working from the corner. Moves out front. Throws it back to the net now to McTavish. He leaves it there for Murphy. Murphy is tied up. Jay Miller takes a hit from Boom as he flips it down the ice. And again, Boom had pinched in deep. Jay Miller steps into Steve Smith as he fires it across the line offside, and now they bump again.
There's McSorley. He's trying to get Brown into it. So they got the heavyweights out there, Miller and Brown. McSorley, Boom.
Well, McSorley's going to get a penalty out of all of this. So it will be another Edmonton power play with 5:14 remaining in this second period. Referee Terry Gregson called McSorley for coming in on Dave Brown. A blast from just inside the blue line by Luc Robitaille. It hit him right in the ear. Here comes Messier leading the power play. Rink-wide pass intended for Anderson. It deflected right to the goal mouth, and Rudy covers up.
Could be the best chance the Oilers have had on the power play, a deflection that Rudy stopped off his own player, Larry Robinson. Mark Messier tried another one of those cross-rink passes through sticks and feet, and the Oilers have been guilty trying too many of those, and very few have been successful on the power play. And here's what I'm talking about right here. I mean, that's a nice play if you can get it to Anderson, but you got to get it past 6 pair of king feet and 3 hockey sticks. The percentage of success is low.
Robinson to Duchesne, and can't get it out against Tikkanen. For Messier, back to Tikkanen. Tikkanen was looking into the corner trying to hit Anderson. It was blocked by McIntyre. He moves it ahead to Donnelly. Donnelly's shot saved by Grant Fuhr, and Donnelly just failed to get to the rebound.
Well, that was a good stop. It was a lot tougher stop than it looked.
Anderson spun around by McIntyre. Robinson, a long shot just wide. Sinisalo fanned as he tried to hit that rebound.
With all this talk about dirty play and kneeing and guys hurt and high sticks, both these teams, especially the Kings, are trying to But the Oilers are guilty, too, of making any little hook look like a terrible rule infraction and falling on the ice and lying there trying to draw a penalty.
Messier for Semenov. Semenov couldn't get a shot away. It comes back to the line to Tikkanen. For Messier to Tikkanen into Semenov. Back to Messier. Semenov. To Messier for Semenov. He got the shot away. The rebound is blocked before it got to the net. Tikkanen's shot. His attempt to pass it over to Messier is blocked by Brad Jones as Sinisalo and Granato now come out in the penalty-killing role. Messier stopped at the line. Tikkanen has to go back after it. He couldn't control it, and it's fired in deep with just 3 seconds remaining in the penalty. So another power play opportunity in this series is wasted by the Oilers.
They're 0 for the series, we know that.
Larry Robinson starts away. Ahead to Robitaille. Robitaille throws it in front for Sinisalo, and it almost went off his skate. And there's going to be a penalty. Jelena, I think, is going to be going off on a holding call. But as we have pointed out, they are missing the key man on their power play, number 99, Wayne Gretzky, who is still in the Coliseum Clinic. Alec with a shot through traffic. It missed the net. Back to the line. Benning behind the net for Taylor. For Robitaille. Back to Taylor. To Robitaille. Robitaille to Blake at the point. A high shot on Fuhr, and it bounced off his shoulder. And then he grabbed the rebound. The cat-like reflexes of Grant Fuhr keeping the Los Angeles Kings off the board.
A real hard shot by Rob Blake. A little too high, I think, and it gave Fuhr a better chance of finding it than if it had been lower. But I've said this before, if the goalie's the first guy in the building to know where the puck's going after it startles him like that, then you know he's really on the ball. And he got that puck off the shoulder. And he knew where the puck was going before anybody else did. And had he been not sharp, that puck would have bounced in front of him, and Todd Alec 6 may well have just wrapped it into the net.
I always admire the ability of the goaltender to concentrate with all that traffic in front of him with that puck bouncing around.
Well, Grant Fuhr, we know that if you judge him in April and May, there are few, if any better.
Alec gets it in the corner. Alec back to Benning. Benning fakes. Looking for Alec at the side of the net. He missed him with the pass. Back to Benning. He'll try again. There's a shot. Fuhr with a glove save. Oh, he's been spectacular tonight.
Well, he picked the puck right off the stick of John Tonelli, who tried hard to tip Benning's point shot. Again, though, Don, the shot from the point a little too high. Tough to tip, and easier for Fuhr to use his best weapon, his glove. There's a pass across from Benning to Alec, and he missed it. Now Benning gets it again, but he puts the puck up waist high, where Fuhr can use his glove, his best weapon. I think if they kept those shots a little lower, Fuhr would be forced to stop screen shots and tip-ins with his feet, and the LA Kings would have a little more success.
1:13 remaining in the penalty. Blake gets it across. There's a shot, just goes by. Alec along the boards, battling with Messier, threw it back of the net. Smith has it. Can't get it out in front of the net. They score! Robitaille!
57 seconds left in Jelena's penalty. Smith had a chance to ice the puck and couldn't. The puck was turned over, recovered by Tonelli, who put it out quick. There's Wayne Gretzky. He's been in the clinic getting stitched and examined after getting hit in the ear with a shot since late in the first period. And here's the goal. Recovery and a lost puck right there. And Robitaille gets his 8th goal of the playoff.
And his 4th on the power play.
And his 4th on the power play, and he is Mr. Offense for the LA Kings, at least in this series.
We're told that Wayne Gretzky with that cut required 25 stitches, both behind the ear and on the ear. And he came out of the clinic and has gone to the Los Angeles dressing room.
Well, if he's coming back, it won't be in the next period. Now one of the problems is going to be, other than his headache, is when he puts his helmet on, that ear is going to rub against it. So if you've got an ear muff, take it down to him. He'll want that ear muff inside his hat to stop the rubbing.
That's going to be the difficult thing, trying to protect that ear. As Renato brings it out, the game is tied at 1. The importance of special teams. The Oilers have not been able to score in the series with the man advantage. Robitaille has tied it up on the power play for Los Angeles. And that goal has inspired the Canes. Here's both Bjugstad and Renato racing after it, but fortunately for Edmonton, McIver got there first. To the line, and it's whistled down as McSorley hit it with a high stick. He and Brown have another exchange. Look out.
Well, Marty McSorley would be wise to stay out of any trouble with Brown, who's sparingly used by the Oilers, and McSorley is one of the more used defensemen for the Kings. So, Marty, I'm sure Mr. Webster's going to tell you, buddy, we need you on the ice, not in the penalty box.
We remind you that this program is copyrighted and is strictly for the private use of our viewing audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, distribution, or exhibition in whole or in part without the express written consent of Molson Brewery and the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation is strictly prohibited. 55 seconds remaining in the period. The score tied at 1. Bukaboom and Robitaille, the goal scorers. Lowe throws it around to Muni. Lima can't get it out. McIntyre and Lowe battle behind the net. Dug out by Donnelly, I should say, and he tried to jam it on the short side. Couldn't get it past Buer.
This is this energetic line. We've talked about them before in Game 2 where they were put together. They can skate, they can check, and they throw lots of body checks.
Lima has it. Being watched by Donnelly. In across the line, Klima. Displaying some of the magic that he used in that beautiful goal he scored in Game 1, but unable to work to the net against Larry Robinson. Now it's fired out and down the ice. Grant Fuhrer throws it up on the left side just as the period ends.
Well, you have to admire the gutty performance by the LA Kings, as shorthanded as they are, with 3 of their good players and their very best player, Wayne Gretzky, unavailable for that period.
McIver flips it up in the wing, knocked down there by Robitaille. Banged into the Edmonton zone with Charlie Huddy back after. Taylor is out there after him. This line is going to log a lot of ice time, I'm sure, in this third period. Here's a chance for Robitaille. He couldn't get across to Ellen. Around the boards for Simpson. He starts away with Messier. Anderson on the wing. In across the line, Anderson goes for the net. Messier trying to get it back to Charlie Huddy, racing in at the point, but he was checked by Marty McSorley, who follows Messier all the way down the ice.
Well, John Muckler wants Messier against Ellick as far as line matchups are concerned. It looks like Tom Webster thinks that's not a bad idea, too. When you're coaching and your matchup's his matchup, that's discouraging on the bench. One of the two is wrong.
McIntyre takes another hit as the puck goes to the corner. Intercepts a pass. McIntyre at the side of the net out front, and Donnelly overskated it. Back comes Edmonton, led by Lamb to Klima. Klima in front for Lamb, and the net is knocked off its support. Kelly Rudy had 2 players driving for the net, and the Edmonton Oilers came dangerously close to taking a 2-1 lead. Tonight's game is coming to you from Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. At this time, we again welcome those viewers on Sports Channel America who have joined our telecast from Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. 1-1 the score. Bukaboom and Robitaille, goal scorers in the second period. Bjugstad's rink-wide pass, too far for Tonelli. Broken up again by Bukaboom. He fires it down the ice. Back after it goes Duchesne. Around the boards for Tonelli. Tonelli checked by Klima. Robinson back into his own zone. An assist on the Robitaille goal has been added to Todd Ellick. So he and Tonelli pick up helpers. Long shot by Granato. The rebound cleared to the corner. Picked up there by Bukavu. John Tonelli steered it in at the line. Takes a hit from Steve Smith. Fuhr came out of his net to play it up along the boards and out. It's fired back in by the Kings. 17:47 remaining in the third. 1-1 the score. Marty McSorley pursued back to the net by Jelena. Bumped by the Edmonton forward, but Todd Ellick starts away to McSorley. He dodges a check. McSorley in across the line, tried to drop it off for Taylor, and it's intercepted and dumped out by Graves.
McSorley went to the net and took a shot at Muni. Marty McSorley's got to be awfully careful when he's a rushing defenseman to drop the puck back. If there's a turnover, he's caught dead.
Here comes Jelena. Jelena trying to work around Tim Waters. Puck loose in the corner, centered, picked up there by McSorley. McSorley can't get out against Semina. Jelena has a chance, but it was gloved ahead. Jelena was upset. He goes crashing heavily into the end boards, and he's still down.
Well, after the whistle, Marty McSorley tripped Jelena, and Jelena in a very awkward position slid into the end of the rink and is in a fair amount of pain back there right now.
Matan Jelena is still down.
McSorley's still looking for Craig Muni. I don't think McSorley got a penalty on that. It certainly wasn't one that was signaled quickly by the referee. But Jelena still down on the end of the rink, being checked by the trainer Lowe. And Gregson, as of this moment anyway, hasn't gone to the penalty box. I don't think there's a penalty on him.
17:04 is the time remaining here in the third period. Tom Webster has been wearing a lot of very colorful ties during the playoffs. I think at each skate, when Webster and Cherry sit up in the stands, they compare the wardrobes they're going to wear that evening. Racing down after that puck is Donnelly. Donnelly is bumped there by Craig Muni. The puck comes loose. It's picked up by McTavish. McTavish throws it across to Muni. Up on the right side now to McTavish for Murphy. Murphy in front of the net. That puck went off the skate of McIntyre right to the goal mouth, forcing Rudy to make the save. Muni at the point. Keeps it in the zone. Rink wide to Lowe. There's his shot right on. Rudy got that and kicked it to the corner. The puck loose in the Los Angeles zone. Finally, it's knocked out to center ice. Craig Muni fired it to the line, broken up there by Duchesne. McTavish dumps it in. He goes to the bench as the Oilers make a change. Benning for Granato. Granato slides it ahead to Bjugstad. Bjugstad flips it to the corner. It goes over the glass and out of play. Norm McIver tried to slide it ahead for Simpson, too far. Larry Robinson in his own zone, moves it along the boards. Duchesne slips it ahead to Taylor. Taylor over on the wing to Robitaille. His shot hit a skate, goes to the corner. Alec was driving for the net, but that puck deflected past him. Duchesne back into his own zone, flips it around the boards with Anderson on top of him. Here comes Taylor. Taylor is stopped at the line. It's offside. 15-17 remains in the third with the score here at Northlands Coliseum, tied at 1. The Edmonton Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings.
If he could help that Edmonton power play. Nobody'd catch him, we know that. Well, this has developed into a game that makes you think we're in overtime here, with both teams being fairly cautious. Lots of shoot-ins, lots of shootouts of the zones to try and make a safe play in order not to make a mistake that costs your team the loss.
Steve Smith for Bukavu. To Lamb. On the right side for Klima, trying to utilize his speed, but he was checked, and back comes Granato. Granato fakes the shot, behind his back, nice play to McSorley. McSorley fired it wide as he attempted to fake Grant Fuhr. He had Fuhr going the wrong way, but he flipped it wide. Penalty coming up behind the play. Now we get sticks up.
Smith is going to get the original penalty as Miller took a dive when he was hooked and got what he wanted, a penalty to Steve Smith.
Robitaille has scored on the power play out front. Tonelli just poked it wide. Tonelli gets it back to the line. Benning shot off a skate to the corner. Robitaille back to the net for Alec, out front for Tonelli. He scores!
Well, John Tonelli, boy, he scored a few goals like this in his day, fighting off the defenseman Craig Muni long enough, putting all kinds of power on a stick to get the shot away. And it was a nice little passing play in deep. And here it is right here. Now there's McTavish, not Muni, who tried his best to tie up Tonelli, but couldn't do it. But players in the league will tell you that when John Tonelli puts a stick down, it's almost impossible to pick it up from behind the way McTavish, or control it the way McTavish tried to.
So the playoff drought of 1991 ends for John Tonelli. His first goal of the postseason, and the Los Angeles Kings with their second power play goal. Alec and Robitaille drawing the assists of a 2-1 lead. McIver has lost his helmet. Back of the net, he leaves it there for Charlie Huddy. Rink-wide pass now to Jelena. Jelena throws it across for Graves, and it was broken up by Larry Robinson. At the point, Steve Smith with a shot. Saved by Kelly Rudy. It's loose at the side of the net. Rudy was down. He was groping for that puck, but couldn't get his glove on it. Smith has it again, a long shot. A deflection, loose at the side of the net. Played off the boards and out.
And lots of action. Point shots by the Oilers that got through with a huge traffic jam in front of Kelly Rudy. And twice, I think he made saves that he didn't see, but this fella, John Tonelli, got the goal that puts the Kings ahead with 13:30 to go. He's played a lot of hockey since the loss of Sandstrom. Let's have another look at John's goal. Here he outstrengths Craig McTavish on a pass right here from behind the net. McTavish thinks he's got his stick tied up, but John's a little too strong, and there's the victory dance from his derriere.
Well, John Tonelli knows what it's like to sip champagne out of the Stanley Cup from his years with the New York Islanders. He'd like to perform the same feat on the other coast.
Well, one-on-one battles for the puck and John Tonelli's strength, and right there he showed it and scored.
Race for the puck in the Los Angeles zone. Comes back to the line now. Backhander by Bukaboom goes wide out front for Messier. He couldn't get a shot away. Leaves it for Anderson. Anderson tied up in the corner. Now Messier attempts to center. It's knocked down by Alec and flipped out of the zone.
Well, the LA Kings will really get into that defensive shell that they showed very nicely tonight. Now they're up a goal, and I think you can see the Oilers are going to come at them and gamble a little bit.
Rink-wide pass, too far for Robitaille. Way back behind the play.
Jeff Bukaboom pinched on Dave Taylor, and Taylor whacked him right in the face with a stick.
And there's going to be a penalty with 12:44 remaining in the period. Now the Oilers have yet to click in this series on the power play. Both goals tonight by the Los Angeles Kings with the man advantage. And again, the Oilers struggle in the early seconds of this man advantage.
They're 0 for 14 in this series.
Heikkinen pass behind Messier. He has to try and reorganize. Throws it rink wide for Heikkinen. He plays it in deep. Along the board, McIntyre gets it, throws it to the other side, but Messier is there. Back to Heikkinen. Into the corner to Simpson. To Klima. Back to the point. McIver to Klima, rink wide pass, good puck movement. So far, they haven't been able to get a shot. And it's fired down the ice with 1:10 remaining in the penalty, and the fans now beginning to get on the Oilers on this power play. Rink wide pass broken up. Out come the Kings, 2-on-2. Granato decides to circle to kill off some time. He catches the Oilers on a change. Long shot, and Fuhrer steers that to the corner.
Well, the Oilers are trying to be much too fancy on the power play when they have no confidence. It should be back to the point, get it on the net, 3 white shirts in front of the goal, looking for the rebound tip or screen shot.
Messier attempted to tip it back to the point, but Tikkanen was not in position. 33 seconds remaining in the penalty. Offside.
What happens too, Don, is you go over the boards when your power play's been as dry as it's been with absolutely no confidence. And that is the most important ingredient on any power play. The fact that you're patient, you're poised, you're confident, you don't get upset when things don't work. And the Oilers are none of those things right now, and John Muckler knows it. He keeps going back to Messier, Simpson, Klima, and the boys that have scored so many big goals for him, hoping they'll get one, when probably this group should be the group that goes out first and gets the first minute, because Jelena, Graves, and Semenov have created far more chances in this series than have the big guns for the Oilers.
11-12 remaining in the third. 2-1 Los Angeles leading. Puck comes loose. Smith gets it, fires it wide in the corner. Semenov looking out front for Graves. He fired it wide of the net. Semenov has it again. Graves in front of the net. Semenov to the point to Tikkanen. 7 seconds left. Here's the long shot. It goes wide. Rudy was screened in that one, but it went wide of the net. Tikkanen tries again. He fanned on it. Semenov from a sharp angle took a swipe as the penalty expires. And Rudy made another save. Taylor nudges it out of the zone. Fired back in by Smith. A bouncing puck loose in front of the net. And Rudy had problems with that one, with Jelena driving for the goal. Another penalty coming up as Jelena is upset at center ice. And again, the Kings are guilty of a penalty well behind the play. So it's another power play chance for the Edmonton Oilers, but right now they have the net empty and the extra skater out there. As it's touched by Robitaille, the delayed penalty call is made.
Rob Blake is the victim, and for about the 5th time tonight, a bad penalty, and only an inept Oiler power play has kept this game close. 4 shots by the Oilers on all their power plays so far tonight, and this is number 6, I believe. Maybe 7, yes, 7.
They've been shut out for the series. McIver drives it in. Murphy along the boards, keeps it in the corner. McSorley throws it out the other way. McIver keeps it in. Klima tried to get it back to the point. Tikkanen couldn't handle it. And Donnelly slides it into the Edmonton zone. And the Kings make a change in their penalty-killing alignment. 1:24 left in the penalty. Here's Tikkanen for Murphy. Saved by Rudy.
Well, that's the first rushing chance on the power play the Oilers have received tonight. And it was a nice play by Tikkanen, who got some speed and some space through the neutral zone, something that the Kings have not been giving the Oilers very often tonight. Teresa Tikkanen, who's been the best Oiler in the playoffs so far, at least in this round, steps by Bukestad and gets this kind of room. A nice little pass to Murphy, who didn't quite get it in time, and it was rolling when he did get it, which allowed Kelly Ruby to get out and cut the angle right off.
Kelly Rudy, a native of Edmonton, playing well tonight before some family and friends here at Northlands Coliseum. Joe Murphy, who had that big goal against the Calgary Flames in Game 3 of the semifinal series, scoring the winner with just 14 seconds left, came close to tying this one.
Well, John Muckler's rolling the dice with 3 guys that don't play a lot on the power play here. McTavish, Klima, who plays on one unit, and Murphy, who's not on a lot of power plays. And Tikkanen back on the point.
The draw comes back to Tikkanen. His shot right on, and Rudy holds it for another faceoff. 1:12 remaining in the penalty. Todd Ellick can't get it out. Klima took a shot. Robinson blocked that. It's loose behind the net. McTavish having problems. Klima comes over to help out, but the puck goes loose. Not out of the zone. Now Duchesne will drive it down the ice.
No, the LA Kings, they have to be careful. Getting takeouts on the penalty killing situation is dangerous because often when you hit the guy, both you and the guy go down. Now you're 2 men short.
There's Tikkanen moving through. He scores!
Well, that's a Tikkanen on anything but a nice power play goal where you usually see 3 or 4 passes. Tikkanen takes it into his own hands, and he's going to beat everybody. Some sloppy defensive play right here as McSorley and Waters are beaten badly by Tikkanen, who walks between them. And there's the face of the guy that tied it up on a 1-against-4 rush that turned into a goal.
And Grant Fuhr draws an assist on the tying goal by Tikkanen, a power play goal, his 8th of the playoffs. And he now moves into a tie with Brett Hull and Luc Robitaille as the leading scorers in postseason.
Fuhr's going to tell Muckler to put me on the point in the power play. Look at what I do when I'm way back in my own zone. Now here's the rush. You know, this is a lovely rush. I don't want to take anything away from Tikkanen, but this should not happen in the National Hockey League. The American League, Junior B, midget for that matter.
Race after the puck, Semenov, backhand shot, just missed the far corner. Low from the point. His shot is deflected up against the glass. Jelena just failed to convert. Here's a shot by Muni that goes wide. Granato comes back. Racing in, centering pass. They score! Tonelli with his second!
Well, as we often see in a hockey game, when one team gets a glorious chance, as did the Oilers, to make it 3-2, the other team comes back, and Tonelli made the pass to the wing and then went right through the middle. Took the return pass from Granato and put it in. Now, you'd have to see that replay from further back to understand where the Oilers went on it. Did Semenov let Tonelli go? Did the defenseman let him go? Who knows? Somebody did. And there's Tom Webster saying, giving the old football signal. It was a touchdown. Felt like a touchdown.
The second of the postseason for John Tonelli. Renato drawing the assists, and it's 3-2 Los Angeles with 7:56 remaining in the hockey game. First even strength goal for the Los Angeles Kings. Simpson shoots it in. Robinson trying to bank it off the boards, kept in the zone. Messier out front. Smith, the shot. The rebound comes out, and it's cleared down the ice. A race after it. Robitaille trying to get there. He's blocked by Bukaboom. It's offside as it's nudged in to Ellick with 7:31 remaining in the third period. 7:26 remains in the third, and the Kings are on the power play. Benning's shot, gloved and held by Grant Fuhr.
The Kings have scored twice on the power play this evening, and one here would put the Oilers in deep trouble.
Just 36 seconds elapsed between the power play goal by Esa Tikkanen and the even strength go-ahead goal by John Tonelli.
Well, this has been a gutty performance by the LA Kings, who lost 3 key guys, 2 before tonight's game, and of course Gretzky in the first period of tonight's game.
Messier brings it out with Huddy, leaves it there for Huddy. There's his shot right on, and the rebound picked up by John Tonelli. Tonelli gives it to Benning. He had Tikkanen on him quickly. He spun it off the boards to Tonelli. Tonelli's rink-wide pass deflected, and the Kings have to regroup. Flip to the line, blocked there. Comes loose to Robitaille. He plays it back to Benning.
Muckler having Tikkanen and Klima. He's going for the shorthanded goal. Tikkanen's off. Messier's out to kill the penalty now. So John Muckler saying, look, if we get a chance, on a 2-on-2 or a 1-on-1, and you get lots of those and you're killing penalties, I want a couple of guys who can beat people on in those situations. Charlie Huddy got a chance himself in his power play. Charlie Huddy playing fine hockey. He's a free agent without compensation at the end of the year, and there's some doubt that he'll play here again next season. He's a +6 in these playoffs and has 6 points. Pretty good.
Well, Wayne Gretzky, we're informed, has changed. Watching the game on television, Wayne, we hope you're able to come back for game number 4. And Tom Webster is one who certainly hopes that you are able to return for the 4th game of this series.
Well, durability, among all the other things that Gretzky's done so well, has been one of his main assets. It allows him to set all the records he set is that he rarely misses a game.
Steve Duchesne for Granato. Granato in the slot, a shot high off the glass. Picked up in the corner by Anderson. For Messier, it bounced away from him. Benning. To Sinisalo, in for Bjugstad. Bjugstad looking, gives it into the corner to Sinisalo. Sinisalo tried to go across ice for Granato. It was intercepted, not cleared. Left at the point for Duchesne. Duchesne flipped the shot towards the net. Hit with a high stick by Steve Smith. Waved off as the shot is fired from the point. Dumped out into the center ice area. Messier had problems controlling it, and Benning is back. 15 seconds remaining in the penalty. 5:40 in the 3rd period. Played ahead to Bjugstad. His shot fired wide, and here comes Tikkanen with McTavish. Tikkanen winds up, and the shot is deflected into the crowd.
Well, I hate to think of this Oiler team if this guy decides to go back and play in Finland. He's also in the middle of a contract negotiations with general manager Glenn Sather. And he's the best Oiler in this round that I've seen so far.
Well, Glenn Sather was talking about the number of players he'll have to do some serious negotiating with during the summer months. But can you imagine if Glenn Sather had been able to keep all the players that once wore Edmonton colors during his reign as coach?
Told me the other day that if he paid all the players what they wanted, they'd have to play the games at Commonwealth Stadium in order to meet the payroll.
You think of Gretzky, Coffey, Yari Curry. Here comes Dave Taylor. Taylor stopped, loose puck. Shot by Alec as he was coming in late. Now it's Jelena starting away. 5:11 remaining. Edmonton back at full strength. Jelena throws it out front. They score!
Semenoff. You seem to be able to wound the Edmonton Oilers, but it's tough to kill them. Nobody took Semenoff as he stopped. Robinson went behind the net. McSorley went behind the net. That's a no-no on any rush, as Robinson anticipated that Jelena was going to make it around McSorley. He threw it out before he went behind the net, and Anatoly Semenoff was all alone and had a layup to tie the game.
Well, Semenoff has certainly had success against the Los Angeles Kings. He has scored 8 goals in the 10 games he has played against Los Angeles, regular season and postseason. That's his 3rd postseason goal, his 2nd against Los Angeles. McTavish stopped at the line. McIver picks it up, fires it back in. Jelena drawing the assist in the Semenoff goal that ties it at 14:55. Semenoff has it again. Flipped it out front for McTavish. It was deflected away from him. Here comes Donnelly breaking in on the left side. Checked there by Charlie Huddy. McIver plays it around in the board. Blake pinching in at the point, but Semenoff chipped it past him.
Nice play by Semenoff. The pinch was on. Blake's a big, strong guy. Semenoff hung in there long enough to tip the puck by him and get it out into the neutral zone. And they also are smart enough to say that neither team has been more guilty than the other.
Smith plays it back into his own zone. Anderson for Messier. He gets away from Bugstad, but is stopped by Robinson. Now Robinson having problems trying to get it out. A pass is intercepted, and Duchesne moves it ahead. Bugstad working through. John Tonelli was racing after that loose puck, couldn't get to it. Renato for Bugstad. Bugstad circling in the corner, trying to get away from Smith. Renato is spun around as he tries to fight his way in. Smith has lost his stick. Puck is moved ahead to Messier. Anderson breaking out with him. Anderson goes for the net. Messier tried to slide it through to him, but it went off the skate. It's picked up in the corner by Robinson. 3:07 remaining in the third period. Deflected down into the Edmonton zone with Kevin Lowe back after it.
This game's gone so long, maybe Wayne can get back into it after all. 2:56 to go. 3-3.
Tom Webster is not a great believer in game day skates. Many of them are optional anyway.
When I coached Tom Webster, he detested game day skates. The games he played.
Here comes Klima working against Waters. Klima with the shot saved by Kelly Rudy. Taylor now. Long shot blocked by Kevin Lowe. Taylor gets it back. Couldn't get a shot away. Flipped ahead to Lamb, coming up with Tikkanen. Tikkanen takes the quick shot. It bounces off the end boards up in front of the net. Alec starts back for Los Angeles. He has Taylor with him. Alec in across the line. Puts on the break, tried to slip it through, and it was picked up by Esa Tikkanen with 2:11 remaining in the third. Here he comes. Long shot. That's off the glass wide of the net. McIntyre in the corner. Ahead for Brad Jones. Rink-wide pass for Benning. Benning dumps it into the corner. Charlie Huddy gets to it first. Takes a hit from McIntyre. Adam Graves brings it out for Edmonton. Graves dumps it into the zone. Rudy leaves it back of the net. Then decides to play it up along the boards for Brad Jones. He fires it out on the right side, looking for McIntyre. Too far for him. Steve Smith starts back to Semenoff. Semenoff drops it for Graves. Jelena in front of the net. Graves can't get it to him. Plays it to the corner. Jelena has it. Jelena taken in against the boards by Robinson. Sinisalo in there trying to dig it out. He succeeds. Flipped it out. Fired back in by Bukaboom. Rob Blake leaves it there for Robinson. He can't get out. Tonelli finally knocks it out of the zone. The Oilers in the final minutes applying pressure. Kept in by Semenoff. His shot goes wide of the net. We're into the final minute now as Granato starts away. Granato still has it, working from behind the net, trying to throw it out front. He's checked by Craig Muni. Muni lost his helmet in that collision with Granato. They tie the puck up along the boards with 38 seconds remaining in the third period.
Well, Craig Muni, who was the villain in the eyes of the LA King organization, really you wouldn't have known by any of the hits or attempted high sticks or all that's gone on tonight that this guy was any guiltier than anyone else for doing something. He's played a good, strong game without getting into trouble himself, and no one seems to have zeroed in on him.
He didn't have any remorse today. He said, I've been a hip checker throughout my entire career. I'm not going to change.
Well, you know, he doesn't try to hurt the guys. Let's get that straight. Unless, you know, hitting them. If you're trying to hit them, you're trying to hurt them a bit. But as far as hurting guys so they can't play anymore, he doesn't. That never enters his head when he comes out. Hawkeye, that's what they call him. He were the corners of the net when he played.
Are we heading for a third straight overtime game in this series? McSorley, a long shot. Fuhrer kicks that to the corner. Tavish and Alec battle back to the net. They go down on top of the puck.
Well, we're 1 second less than a half a minute away from the third consecutive game in this series going into overtime. And these two teams have played a fair number of them when you take a look over the years.
The two previous games ended by a 4-3 score. If we go to overtime, this one's going to end the same way. Broken up by Robitaille. On the right side for Taylor. Taylor was offside.
Ooh. Boy, that was a close call, and Dave Taylor would have had a good chance from a bad angle, but this guy can score. He's scored lots of goals in his career. He's got a sneaky hard shot, but he didn't get a chance to get it away. And a neutral zone face-off with 17 seconds to go. Lots of time for either team to get a chance, but they're filling up the Zamboni in anticipation of OT. There's Rogie Vachon with a mustache and Cap Raider with the headset on, talking to Rick Wilson on the bench.
You have to admire the way the Los Angeles Kings have played tonight, missing 3 of their star performers. It's been a gritty performance by the Kings. We're 6 seconds away from overtime. And for the 3rd consecutive game in this Smythe Division final, it will be decided in overtime. You said earlier, Harry, when they scored in the power play, Fuhr drawing the assist on Tikkanen's goal, that he has to do everything, play the point for the Oilers on the power play. They've also given Fuhr an assist on Semenov's goal, so 2 assists for Grant Fuhr in this hockey game.
He's ahead of some of his forwards and better forwards in points.
Joe Murphy, backhand shot at the side of the net, picked up by Robitaille. He slips it ahead to Alec. Alec is out there with Taylor, gives it to Taylor, moving in. There's the shot, save, the rebound, Robitaille. As there, McSorley initially drove for it, couldn't get to it. Robitaille going in as well as Fuhr covered up.
Well, Fuhr made a nice stop on a hard shot by Dave Taylor, but the stop wasn't as important as how he handled the rebound. Now there's the shot, and it's screened. But look at the rebound, stays fairly close. It gives Fuhr a chance to grab it, and Craig McTavish did a nice job tying up McSorley as McSorley was going to the net to try and put it in.
21 saves, 2 assists, and he now has more points in this series than people like Anderson, Messier, and Simpson.
Right. He needs 1 more assist to make this a perfect night, doesn't he?
Consider that a hat trick if the goaltender had 3
Boy,
assists.
that's a big hat trick.
Charlie Huddy. To McIver, he can't get out. Donnelly can't do anything with it against the checking of McTavish. Now McTavish bumps in. McIver tied up McIntyre in the corner. Huddy will try and come out the other side. He moves it out to Murphy. Murphy tried to go rink wide for Messier. Broken up. Messier has it again. Messier gets it to McTavish. McTavish slips it into Huddy. Huddy's shot goes wide of the net. Played around the boards. Anderson. Couldn't do anything with it. Larry Robinson brings it out. Robinson fires it into the Edmonton zone. The Kings make a change. Stanley checked back to the net by Huddy. Anderson is stopped. Here comes Granato. Granato fakes the shot, lets it go. Here's that to the corner. Stanley with a shot from a sharp angle. It's up against the glass. Messier is checked. Granato unable to throw it out. It comes around the boards. Tim Waters keeps it in. Simpson tries to flip it up and out. It goes along the boards and down the ice with Sinisalo back after.
A lazy change or a change by a tired hockey player could give a chance here, as both teams have the long change here in the first period of the overtime, just like the second period of a normal game.
We played 2 minutes of this overtime period. Jelena knocks it out to center ice. Benning shoots it back in. Lowe will try and get it out. Decides to go across ice to Munich. To Semenov. Semenov shoots it in as he hits the center line. He took a hit along the boards. Very slow in getting up. Now he goes off to the box. Taken behind the net by Jelena. Out front to Klima, and what a save by Rudy. Klima could have been the overtime hero for the 2nd straight game, and Rudy came up with a big save. Jelena gets it in the Los Angeles zone. A centering attempt is blocked, and back comes Todd Alec. He leaves it for Robitaille. Robitaille gives it to Duchesne. Over to Alec. Moving in, a shot saved by Fuhr. He kicks that to the corner. 17:10 remaining. Jelena Graves with the long shot. It's loose, and Rudy had problems with it. It almost trickled past him. And then he had to spin around to grab it. Again, McIntyre ties up Lamb. The pass ahead to Donnelly. Donnelly trying to go for the net. A backhand shot. It goes wide. He could only get one hand on the stick. Here's Tikkanen racing after the puck. Robinson after him. Murphy in front of the net. Oh! Rudy got a piece of that one. Boom with a shot from the point, kicked up into the crowd. Oh, both sides looking to end it early in this first overtime session, and Kelly Rudy has been brilliant.
Well, Kelly Rudy had the one advantage on this play of knowing exactly what Tikkanen was going to do. He was going to pass it out from behind the net, some shoddy play as the Oilers got a 4-on-1. Now Tikkanen anticipates the pass, cheats moving over, and makes the save. Now normally a goalie wouldn't have had that long a look at the situation. He knew that Tikkanen was going to pass it out to Murphy, and he moved over a lot faster than he might have if it had been a short little situation in that case. So the goalie has to think as well as move to make stops.
Marty McSorley slips it across to Granato. He was looking for Tonelli, but it was intercepted by Huddy. Klima can't go anywhere with it. It's loose in the Los Angeles zone. McTavish back of the net. He's checked by McSorley. Bjugstad starts away. He flips it ahead to Granato with Tonelli. Tonelli, 2 goals already. Tonelli takes a shot. It deflects in front of the net, and it winds up under Grant Fuhr. 4-3 has been the score in the 2 previous games. Luc Robitaille and Peter Klima, the heroes. Robinson from the point has a chip past him. Messier in across the line. Anderson skates by him. He plays it across to Craig Muni. It's broken up. Flipped out into the center ice area. Rink wide pass for Todd Ellick. It was offside.
Mark Messier has had some real problems in this playoff. Round 1 and round 2 at making plays standing still across the ice, either in the neutral zone or at each blue line. And again, he did that. He waited and lobbed it across. Now here's what I'm talking about. Fleury scored on a play just like this. He knows where he wants to put it, but it's a soft pass while he's standing still. Nobody has to play him while he's standing still. They can all go to the intended pass receivers, and the Kings nearly got a breakaway on him. And you remember in Game 2, he had to hook somebody right in front of the LA bench to save a breakaway on a play that was a little similar. The pass wasn't as long, but it was the same idea.
Tim Waters at the point, can't keep it in. Messier can't catch up with it. Craig Muni to Messier. For Anderson. Anderson broke his stick. He had Tikkanen driving for the net. Broke his stick and taking the pass. Semenoff in across the line, falls, and he just nudged the puck to the corner. Marty McSorley back after it. Plays the puck off Brad Jones. It's fired back into the Los Angeles zone. McSorley will try again. This time he leaves it along the boards for Tim Waters. He can't get it out. Murphy has it back of the net. Murphy trying to get away from McSorley. At the side of the net, picked up by Tonelli. Tonelli dodges a check as he starts away. He has Sinisalo with him. Tonelli is checked by Adam Graves. Adam Graves knocks the puck back to the Los Angeles line. Flipped in across the line. Graves goes into the corner after it. 14:25 remaining in this first overtime period. The score tied at 3. Graves at the line, flips it to the corner, back after it goes Benning. The Oilers making a change. Benning gains the line, dumps it into the corner. Charlie Huddy behind his own net. Moves it up to Lamb. Lamb gets it out of the zone. Klima and Tikkanen in across the line. Tikkanen going for the net, lost control of the puck as Benning made the play, but I believe the whistle may have gone. Difficult to hear, and it may have been an offside call. Saturday night in Los Angeles, 24:48 of overtime. Who will be the overtime hero tonight?
Well, if the LA Kings keep turning the puck over in the neutral zone or making bad pinches, And giving the Oilers those 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s, 3-on-1 rushes, this game will end in favor of the team in white.
Lamb hit in against the boards by Taylor, fired in by the Kings. Waters drives it back in. Edmonton having some problems now moving that puck up the ice. Charlie Huddy dodges a check. His pass goes off Klima's stick. Played ahead to the line to McIntyre. McIntyre working against Tikkanen. Tikkanen does a good job of riding him out of the play. Here comes Klima. Klima tried to make a move. Couldn't get around the defenseman Blake. Rink-wide pass and across the line offside. Granato and Donnelly driving in across the Edmonton blue line. 13:01 remaining in the first overtime.
Every time Klima gets the puck, the fans here are convinced he's going to end it. And Klima, who's got the great legs, never seems to get tired and always has the extra pint of petrol when he gets the puck. It looks like he's had it defensively, but when he gets the puck, he gets a refill.
Well, Tom Webster has been forced to shorten his bench because of the injuries. And John Muckler has done some juggling at his bench in this overtime period as well. You see some repair work being done to the skates of Peter Klima.
He lost the edge, and so with the stone, the trainer was just trying to get the edge back. And Peter cuts him, and then he can stay on his feet.
Larry Robinson with a quick turn in his own zone, tried to go rink wide, picked up by Simpson. As it deflected, Simpson tried the wraparound. Knocked away. Duchesne can't get out. It's loose at the side of the net, poked away by Robinson. Now the Kings are having problems in their own zone. They wisely flip it out. Here comes Messier with Anderson. Messier looking across ice. Gets it to the point to Steve Smith. His shot goes off the skate to the corner, and Robinson will bank it off the boards and out. Picked up by Sinisala. Sinisala gives it to Granato. His shot goes off the leg to the far corner. Bjugstad behind the net for Sinisala. He's checked. The puck is loose in the Edmonton zone. Brought out now by Bukaboom. He drives it into Los Angeles territory. Rudy plays it around the boards for Dave Taylor. Taylor ahead to Robitaille. He has Alec with him. Robitaille working against McIver. Robitaille back to the net. Still has it. Tries to get it to Alec. Alec is tied up back of the goal. Robitaille and McIver battle in the corner. It comes loose. Waters keeps it in as Semenoff fell. Robitaille trying to throw it out front. He's tied up back of the goal. Semenoff tries to get it out again, and Waters pinched in. Back to the point, Brad Jones. It's whistled down as it was gloved ahead by a Los Angeles King club. They win them. I don't think they mind going to extra time, but it has to be tiring. Oh, what a hit on low by Blake.
Oh my goodness, what a body check that was on Kevin Lowe. He must have thought the timer jumped out of the penalty box and hit him as Rob Blake got all of Kevin Lowe in a clash of the fours right here. And 1-4 goes down. It bounces up. Great body check. Well hit and well received as Lowe back on his feet as if nothing happened.
Brad Jones chops it loose for Donnelly. Here comes Donnelly against Muni. Donnelly going for the net, a backhander off the side of the net. Donnelly is taken into the boards by Muni. The puck brought out now by Semenoff with Jelena and Graves. For Graves, a shot, and that is deflected to the corner. Semenoff has it. His shot deflects high up into the crowd.
Boy, Semenoff's the most dangerous player other than Esa Tikkanen on the Oilers tonight. He can handle the puck. He can make all the moves while he's moving at full strength. And he made a nice play there to give a chance to Martin Jelena, who was going to the net. Now, I'm sure Kevin Lowe felt that body check a lot more than anyone thinks, but an old veteran like Kevin isn't going to allow Blake to think he did any damage at all.
Well, this series is tied at 1, and they've scored 10 goals. Which one will break that overtime stalemate tonight? Each team has scored in the third. Here's a shot from the faceoff. That went off his skate. McTavish gets it in across the line. McTavish trying to control it, trying to set something up. It comes back to the point. Bookavoom shot. Knocked down, and the puck is cleared. 10:29 remaining in this first overtime period. Picked up along the boards. Simpson's pass intercepted. Bukestad threw it back to the Edmonton line. The Oilers having problems organizing their attack. Now Smith tried to slip it through for Murphy. Broken up. Bukestad looking for Robitaille. He missed him with the pass. And Bookavoom has it in his own zone. Flipped up in an open wing and then dumped back out into the center ice area. Fired back into Los Angeles territory with 9:51 remaining in this first overtime. Larry Robinson starts away. Klima after him, but Robinson manages to dump it into the Edmonton zone. Kept in at the point. Robinson throws it into the corner. Charlie Huddy can't get out. Robinson pinching in at the point. Here's Klima. Klima working in, looking for Tikkanen. Duchesne did a good job of getting back to cover up. It's loose, and Klima hit the side of the net. Tikkanen has it again, a wraparound. He jams at it, and Rudy comes up with the puck. Marty McSorley whips it around the boards. Brad Jones gets it out, but the Oilers gain control. Anderson fires it in. McSorley up along the boards for Donnelly. He gets it out of the zone, but the Kings can't go anywhere with it. Anderson in quickly on Water. Again, he throws it around the boards for Donnelly. He can't get out. Stolen by Simpson. Simpson for Anderson. Anderson tried to get it back for Simpson. It goes to the corner, picked up by Anderson. He looked rink wide for Messier. It's intercepted by Waters. Ahead to Donnelly. Long shot as the Kings make a change. 8:27 remaining in this first overtime. Renato couldn't go anywhere with it. Messier tied up along the boards. Tonelli digs it out. Tonelli gets it in across the line. Too far for Sinisalo, who is in some difficulty trying to stay onside. Dumped in by Benning. Kevin Lowe goes back after it. Craig Munich has his pass knocked down. Sinisalo overskated it. Back comes Semenov. Semenov working around Blake. Semenov trying to go for the net. Lost control of the puck, and it was covered up by Rudy. Even though it was not free, the whistle had gone.
Semenov's got that ability to sift by people. He just kind of looks like he's not going to do much, and then whammo, he slid by you, and he nearly got away with it on that rush. One of the reasons he can do this is he keeps his legs going while he makes the move. Right here. And boy, Rob Blake stuck his leg out and tripped him where Semenov was heading for pay dirt. A rather quick whistle as the referee was on the other side and didn't see that the puck was actually loose.
7:49 remaining in this first overtime period. Todd Alec ties up Graves in the face-off circle, and Taylor starts away. Jelena is on him. Puck is loose. Taylor gets in across the line. Tried to hit Alec. It was broken up. Now Jelena is checked as he tries to break away. He's able to knock it into Los Angeles territory. On the boards for Alec. He banks it off. Here's a chance for Robitaille. Taylor's going to the net. Robitaille tried to get it across for Taylor, and it was broken up. Good play by Steve Smith. Back comes Semenov. Semenov has stopped at the line. He was looking to pass. Rink-wide pass for Larry Robinson. Robinson with Anderson on top of him. Leaves it there. There's a shot fired just wide by Robitaille. Back of the net. Brad Jones trying to throw it out front. It's intercepted and brought out by Anderson. Anderson to Graves. He dumps it in and then goes to the bench in the change. Robinson moves it ahead for Granato. McIntyre trying to catch up on the play. Granado's shot, that just misses. McTavish starts back for Edmonton. 6:36 remaining in this first overtime period. Here comes Donnelly. Donnelly putting on the brakes. A shot. Loose puck in front of the net, picked up by the Oilers. They can't get out of the zone. Now Granado falls. Back comes Muni to McTavish. McTavish checked along the boards by Blake.
Nice play by Rob Blake. That was actually a 4-on-2, and he eliminated the puck carrier to stop it quickly.
Long lead pass deflected down the ice. Going back after it is Bukaboom. This will be an icing call with 6:02 remaining in the first overtime period. Steve Smith pokes it back to the net. Benning whips it around the board. Bukaboom keeps it in. Aggressive forechecking here by the Oilers, causing the Kings problems in their own zone. Picked up by Lamb. Lamb winds up, he fires it wide. 5:41 remaining in this first overtime period. Bukestad stopped along the boards by Smith, and they tie it up for a face-off.
Well, Scott Bukestad, who wasn't really thinking he was going to play tonight, he's played a lot of hockey, and he's played a lot of it at center ice. And as I recall, when he played for the Minnesota North Stars, he played with a pretty good centerman by the name of Neil Broughton, and he got 43 goals.
In his first year, he had 43 goals with Minnesota. Since then, he's only scored 20 in the National Hockey League.
That's what happens when you take a center like Neil Broughton away from him. One of the more underrated hockey players in this league, and I think Scott Bukestad would second that one. He's got an excellent shot. I worry about him taking face-offs in his own zone because he really hasn't played as much center as he has wings.
Bukaboom being watched back at his own net. Sinisalo and Bukestad, two of the players added to the lineup for this game as the result of injuries to Sandstrom and Kudelski, both out there right now for the Los Angeles Kings. 5:16 remaining in this first overtime period.
Well, I think you've got the two most dangerous players out here as far as goal scoring is concerned in this overtime. Klima and Robitaille. I wonder who'll win this little matchup.
Robinson got the puck from the faceoff, his long shot up high on Fuhr. 5 minutes remaining in this first overtime period. Here comes Klima. Rink-wide pass broken up. Tikkanen throws it in. Dumped back out. Tikkanen got it, but couldn't control it. He and Robinson go to the boards. Captain Robinson throws it out of the zone. Dumped back in by Smith. Robinson rink wide to Duchesne. He quickly gets it off the boards to Taylor. Taylor was tied up, can't go anywhere with it. Lamb fires it back into the Los Angeles zone. Robinson falls as he tries to come around the net and winds up on top of the puck.
A good play called by the referee Gregson, who saw, in regulation time, that's a penalty. But Robinson came down on the puck, and the referee blew the whistle right away to take Robinson off the hook, who was wondering what was going to happen if he didn't fall on it, and did not call the penalty to Klima, because if Robinson had not fallen on it, and the whistle had not gone as quickly as it did, the Oilers would have pounced on it. This guy doesn't want to call any penalties in overtime, and this has been a very sensible overtime period. He really hasn't been tempted very often to call them. The game with lots of hits in the first two periods, those hits have diminished quite a bit in periods 3 and 4.
McIntyre gets the draw back into the corner. Jelinek fighting, trying to get it loose. It's picked off by Donnelly. Rink wide to Brad Jones, trying to go around McIver. Jones checked by McIver. McIver falls and the puck winds up underneath him.
Well, Jones has great speed, and that was a very nice play by McIver to handle Jones going to the outside. McIver's been a defensive stalwart as well as a nice addition to the offensive section. Here's the race right here. McIver knocks the puck away and then stays with him. And then I don't know whether he planned the cover up, but that was a good play as well.
An exchange between Craig McTavish and Brian Benning. Draws the linesman over, and they quickly separate them.
Brian Benning's been unusually robust in these playoffs, especially in Game 2. Not as much tonight, but much more so than his usual league game. He's a better player for it, too, Don.
Here comes Graves, long shot. This time Kelly Rudy gloves it. Remember the last long shot that Graves threw in there? Rudy had problems, and that puck almost trickled past him. Semenov goes to the corner. He loses his stick. Dodges a hit. Jelena looking out front for Graves. Blocked by Jones. Jones working to the line and gets it out. John Tonelli leaves it there for Blake. He flips it to the goal, and wisely Grant Fuhr hangs on with Sinicello racing in on him. Has only played once this playoff year. And the way Grant Fuhr is performing, might not get an opportunity to play again. There's a chance. Granato is spun around as he got in across the line. McTavish checked him. Sinicello battling for the puck, throws it behind the net. Tonelli is there as well. Sinicello still has it. Sinicello looking for someone to pass to with McTavish on top of it. McTavish succeeds in tying him up as they take it to the boards for a faceoff. Craig McTavish, one of the better defensive forwards in the National Hockey League, and he doesn't get the recognition for that aspect of his game that management feels he deserves.
Well, he's also a pretty good offensive center, too, for a defensive center. Now, Sinicello made a nice play there. He wouldn't center it. One of the more dangerous plays in hockey when you're tired is to center the puck from behind the net out in front to the other team. And Tonelli, who's been heroic tonight, takes on Craig Muni in a battle for territory, the puck, and masculine superiority behind the net right here.
3:03 remaining in this first overtime period. 3-3 the score. The Oilers and the Kings. Game 3 of this Smythe Division final, tied at a game apiece.
Now McTavish is on his face-off strategy, tries to tie up Ellick's stick.
Ellick gets the draw. Robinson's shot high up off the glass. It ricochets around the boards for Messier. He crosses with Anderson. He tried to give it to Anderson. It was broken up. Robitaille starts back with Ellick for Taylor, and Taylor was stopped at the line. Simpson off the boards for Messier. Couldn't control it. Robinson goes to the corner. Simpson racing in, throws it out front. Anderson couldn't get a stick on it. Boom keeps it in the zone. Robinson has control now for Los Angeles. Rink-wide pass with 2:27 remaining in this first overtime period. Lamb starts back. He's stopped at the line. Smith is checked. Broken up by Duchesne. He slips it ahead for Jones. Jones going for the net. Saved by Fuhr.
Jones with that great speed, with those heavy hands, couldn't beat Grant Fuhr, who made a nice stop with his left leg.
Here comes Donnelly. He can move. Donnelly, backhand shot off the side of the net. Donnelly has it again. Donnelly throws it out front. McSorley couldn't get a shot away. McSorley takes the shot now. It's blocked. Klima comes out with Lamb. And there's a whistle behind the play. Two players down back of the Edmonton net. McIntyre was all tangled up with Boom, and there's going to be a penalty here with 1:39 remaining in the first overtime period. He went off to the dressing room, 25 stitches around his ear. He had a dentist and an ear specialist examine him because of the severity of the cut, and he has not returned. And Minnesota with a 5-1 win tonight over St. Louis, leading that series 2-1. Tikkanen behind his own net, leaves it there for Huddy at the side of the net. Picked up by John Tonelli, but he couldn't get a shot away.
It was offside on a long delayed offside. The LA King forwards had no idea that Gord Brosker had the delayed offside call on, and they were going to get a pretty good chance. So luck enters into hockey games. We all know that, and the Oilers were a little lucky there that the offside occurred about 20 seconds before the whistle.
John Tonelli thought he had a scoring opportunity as he picked up that loose puck, but when he touched it, the whistle went. McIntyre and Bukaboom drawing those roughing penalties at 18:21.
Well, John Tonelli's been the best player for the LA Kings tonight. Back to his old Islander form when he was a whirling dervish along the boards and almost impossible to contain in the offensive zone.
One of 11 players in the National Hockey League who played in the now-defunct World Hockey Association.
He was a good 18-year-old player for Houston, as I recall.
Takenen's long shot, gloved by Rudy. He plays it up along the boards for Alec. Alec overskated it. Picked up, however, by Taylor. His quick shot and a glove save by Pure, with Alec trying to jam the net as we have 52 seconds remaining in this first overtime period, and Taylor appears to be hurt. Los Angeles also had 2 overtime games in the series against the Vancouver Canucks. Semenov slips it through for McTavish. He was checked by McSorley. The puck comes out to the side of the net. Semenov couldn't get a shot away. Robitaille to McSorley. McSorley puts it in the wing for Alec. A backhand shot. That's gloved by Pure.
McSorley made a play. He threw it wide and then stayed back. So that little talk that Rick Wilson gave him about getting it deep and not throwing lateral or back passes at the end of the offensive zone sunk in.
Graves fires it over on an open wing. It looks as though we're heading for a second overtime period. 5 seconds remaining. Graves again dumps it to the corner. It was offside. 2 seconds remaining. And for the second consecutive game, we will have a second overtime.
Well, this is getting to be exciting for the fans, but pretty old for the players, I would say. Pretty tough on the nerves. They lose a lot of energy because of the tension of the game being a 1-goal game or tied for as long as it's been, and now we make them play 4 periods, and we're going to be into the 5th, that's for sure. So the mental, there's Daniel Berthum. He can't stand watching the overtime, so he's back there getting a head start on the rest. So 2 tired teams head to the dressing room for 15 minutes to get rejuvenated, and we'll be back for period 5. Well, if the Oilers want to win it, they could use a little help from Messier and Simpson. Messier has 1 shot in this game. Simpson doesn't have any. And the same thing could be said true for Robitaille of the Kings. He's got one of the best shots in either team. He has but 1 in this long game.
His 1 shot, however, did go in the net. That was on the power play. That tied it at 1 in the second period, which seems a long time ago. Marty McSorley knocks down a clearing attempt. Smith in his own zone, gets it across to Huddy. Huddy spun around by Robitaille. The puck goes loose in the corner. Smith plays it around the boards for Tikkanen. He leads in shots on goal. He has 7 of them. Ahead to Klima. Klima against Waters. The shot right on. Puck loose in the corner. Lamb trying to get it back to Klima. He's tied up by Waters. Lamb gets it to Tikkanen. Tikkanen shot. Score!